next on the line here to finish up your season of reviews, Dark. You have something quite fun for us. Do you want to tell us
I
about it?
sure do.
Can you beat
All right.
Robot Wife's Dark?
So I've got
Yeah.
um Tasogare
You
Out
want me to?
Focus,
Yeah.
which is Tasogare Out of Focus or Twilight Out of Focus.
Yes.
Um
It's a
this
manga original or what?
is I believe it is. Let me just double check.
Uh,
I don't know why my page
yeah, it is.
did.
It is a
Yeah,
manga
so
original,
this is a manga
and
original. This is a BL manga, and this is being done
huh.
by Studio Dean.
Oh my god!
Everybody loves Studio Dean.
Especially when they do BL series,
Oh yeah.
everybody loves that shit.
Um.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is I guess I could probably give the rundown of this pretty easily. So our
Uh-huh.
two main characters are Hisashi Otomo and
Mhm.
Mao Tsuchiya.
Mhm.
Um, and these are two roommates, and they have three promises with each other. Um, and now the way Mao put this is really stupid. So anyway, the three promises is basically that Mao won't um like let anyone else know that Hisashi is gay. Um
Wait, what? Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so no like no one like in their school or anything knows that Hisashi is gay. And
He's
so the
hiding it,
promise is
right?
like
Okay.
yeah, and so their promise is like he won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Otomo in turn, I guess like and the weird thing is like I don't even know if it's really like fully established that like uh Mao is gay, but Otomo in turn must not fall in love with Mao. Like
Wait,
pretty
Ultima already has a
conceited.
boyfriend
Yeah,
at the
well,
point
listen,
where
we'll
they
get
make this
there.
promise.
We'll get there. Look, we'll get there. And the two, and like obviously just a mutual like privacy, like
Yeah.
because again they are roommates, uh,
Yeah.
in their like high school dorm. Anyway, oh yeah, they are second years. And so as this goes on, just a little happening goes on that they are in the drama club, or well, Mao is, um, and Otomo is considered the perfect fit for um, like a delinquent role in the BL love story that they're trying to film. Um, and yeah, so Mao is the principal photographer, and obviously this winds up leading to some uh, zesty moments between Otomo as the delinquent actor and the other actor acting as the class president in the film. Now, you may think, man, so this series is going to be Mao being all jealous, or thinking like, damn, I maybe I do have feelings for uh, maybe I do have feelings for Otomo and gets like jealous during the filming or something like that, or finds out that he does like during the filming. And you would be 100% incorrect because that shit happens episode 1. Boom. All those three rules go right out the window real quick. Otomo literally swears to God that he will not fall for Otomo and just, granted it's about like a yearish time skip or something they do
Uh-huh.
between like that promise or whatever, like instantly just
Uh-huh.
immediately is like, nah, never mind, I'm breaking up. Me and my boyfriend broke up. Like we're through. And yeah, so shit gets hot real quick.
Hot, sweaty ass fucking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
All
like
right.
again, like um Mao being gay is like not really established as like a fact. I guess like we kind of just
Okay.
take that shit for granted. And then the story
Yeah,
primarily
because
becomes a
it's that sort of serious, so we're just like, yeah, might as well just get the ass fucking
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, so like that happens really quick. And like, so then the story kind of just becomes more so of like him not really, um, liking that he's now filming like these romantic scenes between these two actors, one of which now includes his new boyfriend Otomo. Um, but the brunt of, or the bulk of the series is actually just kind of like interpersonal interactions and like just
What
pure
do you mean by
like
that?
character interactions between Otomo and Mao, like, and just learning about each other's past and shit. Like that is the bulk of it. There is some of it obviously
Okay.
that gets intercut with the scenes from the movie. And but most of it is literally just like relationship shit with them. And
Are
how
they
Otomo is like
talk are they
mysterious.
talking or is it internal monologuing? What's going on?
So they talk. So they talk. There's some internal monologue from like Mao, being like, Otomo is like kind of a doesn't really like share his feelings very much or his past or anything like that. Um,
Mhm.
some of it is that. Some of it is obviously like the cutesy stuff, that you would normally expect in a like romance series. Um, and
Is there
obviously
some,
then you
like,
have the
gradual
movie
progression
stuff.
going on, or is this like a
Yeah.
will they,
Well, I
won't
mean,
they
there's
again?
there. Yeah, there is. No, they will. In fact, they literally have sex like
They
episode 2.
will fuck
They
each other,
straight up
yeah?
have sex in episode 2. Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, just like 100%. Like, it's not like there is no
Is this
subtlety to
smut?
it.
What's going on? Is
No,
this
no,
smut?
actually, it is like a more of like an artist's rendition when the scene happens. You might say,
What?
right?
Okay.
It's like a,
Like
what would you
diagrams
call
or
that? No,
Pixel art?
like
but no
flowers, like
banana
flowers
image.
blooming and
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
shit
okay,
like that,
okay,
and
okay,
like
I know it. Yeah.
artsier shots,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
not
what
really
kind of
like
The
flowers
panel
are they?
straight up
drawing?
showing it. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
flowers are
Um,
they? Brown flowers or pink flowers? We have to know the color.
they're blue. Actually, they're light
Brown?
blue.
What do you mean
Oh,
brown
because
Yeah,
flowers?
wilted. But yeah,
Anyways,
so
is that not what the butthole is called? The brown flower?
it's a starfish, but
Oh, so there's no
um,
starfish?
but yeah, so that happens
So
very
wait,
early on.
it's
So
just
like I said, the
boring
premise they
flowers. It's
kind of
not
just like
funny.
throw that away immediately. No, it's almost like this is a romance series.
Lame.
Um, but yeah, so like it's pretty solid, honestly. Like it's obviously very cheesy. Like very cheesy.
Mhm.
Especially the like romance scenes and like hotter scenes. Like it is exactly what you would expect and like really turned up. Um but it makes it pretty funny. It makes it pretty fun. Um and yeah, I mean I think my biggest complaint about this series is that I don't really think the drama is like enough in a way. I think two things. One, the drama is like very, very shallow. Which leaves a lot to be desired because like it's not that engaging, right? Like the premise is not particularly exciting. And so by
The
episode like
issue is it's
5 or
that
4, like by
like, the
episode
initial
5 not having a much
problem
deeper drama is like, you know, where's the substance here? Like if we're going to do drama,
what the issue is it's like the initial structure of the drama is
so the initial premise is the promises. The
what is the
structure of the
hurdle? I
drama.
don't really understand.
Well,
Yeah.
the hurdle is again like Mao being
It's just a promise,
conflicted.
right? It's not even like
No,
it's
it's
not even like
literally, well, it's two
yeah.
things. It's the promise of like them now being in a relationship, and I guess like still being like conflicted of not, basically outing each other. But
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
the fact that like Mao has to film this like romance movie between the two, between Otomo and the other actor. And again, none
Okay,
of them
okay,
can
okay, okay.
know that they are in a relationship. So like there's really
Okay,
no
okay,
like
okay, okay.
boundary talk there or anything like that because it's like they literally like they can't without outing themselves.
So it's
Right?
just like the romance
Like
stuff
that's
of
the drama.
it's the
Yeah.
hurdles. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so, well, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, like, there seems to be leading up to, like, Otomo's past and stuff like that, but the problem I have, or Hisashi, like, the problem that I have is, again, like, that's not really, like, enough for me to, like, stay engaged, right? Like, that's really not that dramatic, one, and two, like, you can't ride that for 5 episodes. Like, that's really hard to
Yeah,
do,
I think
like,
I
and to
think
stay
also the
engaging.
problem is that the development has already advanced too far in a sense where let's say for like Yuri series, right? The Yuri series, there's a lot of um for good or for worse, right? For better or for worse, there's a lot of will they, won't they? And that extends the story, right? They have, the two different personalities or like they come from different backgrounds, and a lot of it is the standard, oh, we don't fit each other or something like that. One-sama, blah blah, that shit. But in this series, by episode 2, they already got it on. They're already just like, yeah, yeah,
Might have
we're
been
fucking each
episode 3.
other. Like,
Who's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
counting?
episode 3. Yeah, yeah, we're fucking
Yeah,
each
so,
other
like,
in
the
the
will they
ass kind
won't
of
they for
thing. It's already done.
the
So it's
first
like,
few episodes was
yeah,
good, was solid, but yeah, then, like, after it now, it's like
like you either got
hard.
to tell an
It's like
actor story right,
hard
or you got to do
to.
something. Yeah,
Well, it's also yeah, it's like to me, it's like kind of difficult. It is a bit of a double-edged sword here because it's like, yeah, now that you've set it up this way, like, it is kind of hard to show like a relationship progression, in my opinion, because,
yeah,
like, how
yeah,
are
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
realistically going to do that?
Mhm.
Um, with this dynamic you've set up. Now, if they do start getting into that, I think that would be very interesting. But they have not by the time by what I got up to, which was through episode 5. Um,
Mm.
so there's a lot left, but overall, I'm not really like sold that much on the premise. Like, I still prefer something of like, oh my god, why can't I think of it? The other BL series that came out not that long ago, was it Um, is it Hisane to no?
No, no,
What
no.
was that? Masane? No. What was it? It was literally both of their
Mm.
names. It was just someone and someone.
Sasaki Tomiano? No, that's
Old, I
was
think.
it
Yeah, Sasaki. Yeah,
was it
Sasaki
Sasaki
and
Tomiya?
Miyano.
Yeah,
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 I
okay,
say
okay, okay,
recently
okay.
because like they've had like
That was also
recent
Studio Dean as well, actually. Sasuke the Miedo.
recent ones. Yes, which was also Studio Dean, which was another thing I was going to get to. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, so like I still prefer that series. I still think that that has been done a little better overall and has like better pacing and like more drama. This is very much more of like I don't know, what would you say? Like, cuz it's not quite smut, but it's more so of like, the death by chocolate cake scenario where they're
Yeah.
just kind of just like hammering this to you of like, we're just going to give you what you came here for.
Yeah, so
But
so
like,
that's I have a sort of
it kind of
a
runs
question
into,
on this, and
this
that's
is kind
yeah.
of a snooze fest after a little bit.
Yeah, I have a question on top of that, like, just because you brought it up, but I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible, but what is the value, the selling point of this series, right? Like if you're trying to sell it to some person, or like if you're trying to list the reasons why somebody will want to watch this series, what are those reasons? Is my question. It's like
I mean, if you like BL, like, this is pretty much
yeah,
like
it's just the
the more
where
like the
they're just macking each other, right?
not watered
Pretty much.
down. It's just like, yeah, I mean, like, if you like that, you know what I mean? Like, it is a lot of macking. It
Yeah.
is a lot of like those corny type scenes
Yeah.
that
But
you
it's
would
not a
come to
lot of like
expect.
some deep like dives into, why do I like, or
Maybe it
what is
gets
our
to that.
relationship is
I can't say for
maybe.
sure, but it certainly does
Yeah,
not
yeah.
start that way.
Yeah, okay.
These are
Okay.
very that was another thing that I was going to say about Sasaki to Miyano, is that the thing that I prefer to see is
Mm,
kind of the more archetypical characters, if that makes sense, which Sasaki
mm.
to Miyano did very much. Like they were like you knew these characters, like you knew their style and everything like that. Um, but the problem I have with this is that like Hisashi is supposed to be like this like aloof, like ooh, kind of mysterious um type character, but like he's not like really that much different from Mao from what we see, right? And even vocal performance and vocal inflection, they have very similar performances too. Like these a lot of these characters really are not playing an archetype, which to me gets a little boring. Because like not only do
Mhm.
you have drama that isn't really that in depth, again, as far as I've seen, um, you also have these characters that really aren't bouncing off of each other, like in a way that where you can like get moments in that are like not just pretty normal, pretty standard, to be honest. Like
Mhm.
so that is kind of I would say that's kind of actually the biggest issue is that they are very samey, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
drama.
no like delinquent and like proper type thing going on here in the actual show. It's just, you know, Hisashi is like I guess gayer
I
in
mean,
private.
the thing
Like
is, I think in a sense, like not having those extreme differences is okay because at the end of the
well, it
day,
could
you're
be
trying
okay.
to
It could be okay.
make it.
But like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah. But the issue is like then you need to deal with it, right? It's like because they are at the end of the day, the story is about these individual people coming to grips with their experiences of like I don't know, wanting to with the other guy, right? And if they don't have those individually like unique thoughts, right, or like those unique kind of perspectives, then it kind of all goes to wash, right? Is sort of what
yeah,
you're
because
pointing out.
well, it's also like yeah, if you don't have that, like it's very hard. It's just very hard to stay engaged, right? Because if you don't have that,
Mhm.
like that's an easy engagement point. But
Right, 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 right.
on top of not having that, if you then don't have like any sort of like real life experience oriented like drama or anything like that, like if you keep just being like, oh, like Hisashi is like super aloof or like not aloof, but like, you know, I can't really tell what he's thinking or something like that. Like riding that over, I don't know, actually like like much earlier digging into his backstory or having some drama between them and the other students or anything like that. That's where
Mhm.
like again starts to become a little bit more boring for me because it's like, well, like what's happening here? Like I'm like, you know, each episode is starting to kind of like blend. You know what I mean? Like it's not really there's not really that much, you know, distinction between what is happening in, you know, episode 5 from like episode 4, right? You know, we're still on the major point of contention being filming these scenes and people not knowing that they're in a relationship and him having
Right.
to film like him having, you know, him acting out a relationship with another person, right? Like that's not exactly the most exciting prospects when you're getting like multiple episodes in where that's like the
And I also
biggest point of
don't
contention.
yeah, I also really don't know what because the obvious implication in terms of just I'm trying to talk about the meta structure, right? The obvious implication is that the movie ultimately is a them like doing the movie and going through the paces is essentially a story is a tool within this or device within the story that leads into this sort of cathartic resolution where at the end of the movie or at the end of the filming of the movie or when they're looking at seeing the movie or releasing it to people or near the end of it um the main character Mao, I guess in this case, will have a realization of some sort, and he'll be like, "You know what? I can't lie to myself anymore," or some fucking other cheesy bullshit, and then he'll really get the Mac on with Otomo in public or wherever, right? And that's sort of the that'll be like a very standard story structure. But I don't really like at that point the the movie doesn't really become that important, right? And a lot of the important parts of the series of the anime of this manga series or this anime series kind of devolves into just again, what does Mal think about Otomo? How are they gonna keep rolling their relationship? And if you don't do something unique, it kind of just ends up becoming, again, as you said, a very standard, like whatever, like, oh, it's just, they did the thing. Okay, now what kind of business? So I just,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's unfortunate, um, because it was a fun premise, fun idea, but I
Hmm.
think it just need more substance to really like stay more
Right,
engaging.
right. Yeah, yeah. Can we talk a little bit about the audio visuals?
Yeah, so the audio visuals are
Because it
pretty
is.
good. This is a BL
Studio
series
D
from
is getting
Studio
used
Dean,
to.
so
Yeah. Is this
they're pulling
is
out
Studio
all
is
stops,
Studio
really.
is Studio D becoming the white fox of like just gay BL anime adaptations? Is this what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I
Why
think that
Fire,
ship
are
sailed the
they
moment
remember,
they
crazy guy?
did.
Fire, what was Archer versus Lancer all about? Remember that?
Yeah, that's true. God
What is
damn
it?
it.
Gay bold versus raw ass. Was that the meme? Hell yeah.
So this is their third, is what you're saying, third BL series. But
Yeah,
I don't know,
anyways,
man. Have you seen the shape of Archer's raw ass? Is that not an allegory for the blue flowers that appear in this series?
God damn it.
but
You may be right, but
yeah. So
yeah.
they're pretty solid. The OP is pretty standard. The ED is also kind of standard, but a little bit more interesting. Also, a better song for the ED.
Mhm.
I have to see. Yeah, it's like Unchain Cross Unchained by Ambers. Yeah, just kind of better
Mhm.
than the OP. But yeah, other than that, directing is like pretty all right, pretty good.
Mhm.
This is
Pretty
the Super
standard.
Lovers director. Um,
Oh,
Also
okay.
the Tokyo Ghoul redirector. So not only is Tokyo
Yes,
Ghoul
some
an
other
adult
truth.
anime, it's also a gay anime too. So
Yeah.
just by transitive properties.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it.
But yeah, so
Oh,
like
man.
that's not bad. But again, like that's the thing. Like I would say like the pacing of the episodes is not inherently bad. It's just there isn't enough to do to really make it more exciting.
Yeah, they're not it's like the author nor any of the, directors or anybody is they're not
It would be
doing
like if you were
a deep dive
literally
and they're
it's
not.
like kind of yeah,
Yeah.
it's like too I guess to summarize it, it's too natural in a way. Or cuz like obviously there's the corny scenes, right? The
Yeah,
corny
yeah, yeah.
BL scenes that you come to expect. But like outside of that, the actual like dynamics and like what's happening so far is a little too like
Yeah.
subdued where it's like this is like if you were
And
just
you
watching like
can't
a
fit that into a
documentary
12
about like a
episode
high
series. Yeah,
school
exactly.
romance and you're like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
fucking boring.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, wait
yeah,
a
yeah.
minute, these are really
Because real
normal
life isn't always
things.
like super dramatic and everything. So it's like if you try to
Yeah,
reflect
it's like
that for
I
pacing
want you to
and
tell me
energy.
more, like tell me a story, like
Yeah,
I want you to
yeah,
be
yeah.
giving me like aspects that I might expect, but more of like a full course rather than we're actually going to show you like a more natural tidbit into like two people's lives. It's like,
You're right, right, right.
yeah,
Exactly,
this is
exactly. Yeah.
not that exciting though.
Okay. I guess any last words on the series?
Um, yeah, I would say
Would you recommend
it's
this
not
to
bad.
like I don't know, like the,
I
the
mean,
thing is
if
just
you
like
like
I know they're
BL,
all
definitely, like
mal
obviously,
yeah,
like
because
fucking
people are
100%.
like all there I know there's some mal reviews that are like if you're a gay man and you like anime, you gotta watch this series. I'm like,
No. First of
are
all,
you getting the
if
like?
you're
Are you getting the experience that you want
now,
for this series? Is my question. Yeah.
I can't speak from experience, okay? But if you're a person who was gay in high school, this is probably just like a borderline something you may have gone through, in the most boring way possible
Yeah. Yeah.
imaginable.
Yeah.
With like a lot of the actual trials and tribulations probably subdued more and more.
Mhm.
Yeah, so no, I don't think that that is that is an easy sell to anyone. I think I would purely only recommend this if you want to see a
If you just
BL series and you're
yeah.
bored, right?
Yeah.
Especially one that like kind of gets to the point very early on and then might have some like actual relationship development, partway through
Mhm.
and a little bit more deeper development. Because like I said, I'm only 5 episodes in, so it's like I don't really know if it gets a little grander than it is. Um,
Mhm.
but watching this one episode at a time, like on a weekly releases, definitely would have kind of spelled doom by now, by episode
Yeah.
5, just
Yeah.
because of that. Just because it's like, damn, am I really gonna like stick around to see if this goes anywhere? But I would
Mhm.
recommend checking it out. Like, obviously, if like that's your thing, if you do just, I mean, hey, if you can just see good audio visuals with like corny BL scenes and like that's your thing,
Mhm.
like definitely. Um, but if that's not, this is probably going to be a rough one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If it doesn't pick up, at least at the very least, it's going to be a little bit of a slog to get through at points to like get to something of more substance. Where I don't
Mhm.
think Sasaki Tomino had like the same problem like whatsoever.
Yeah. And Sasaki Tomiyano is just because of the fact that it started out with a much less serious shell, and it was like, yeah, we're just gonna do freeform like excessive like kind of business, right? And so that
Right.
I think,
It was
yeah,
that's
they
where
didn't
again that's
go
the
down
bonus
like
of Sasaki
Saki, you
Tomino because
can't
they
be
weren't like
gay
very
with me,
much
okay?
like.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like even if they do like something like that, like listen, we can't do this or something like that,
Yeah.
then like
Yeah.
that would be fine because there is like a little bit of that obviously with the whole will they won't they for a decent amount,
Uh-huh.
but Sasaki Tomino has the benefit of again, yeah, like trying to be more of a slice of life, right? Like trying not
Right,
to.
right, right.
It's like it's still a BL series, but it is not like a BL series in the way this is, where this is very much more of a distilled BL experience.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, and like I
Yeah,
said, so that left a lot more dynamic stuff happening in Sasaki
mhm.
to me. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
I
it's a
would
little bit
say I
unfortunate.
would say probably even if you like BL, this might wind up being a series that's like I don't know, maybe like a
Maybe a little
7-ish
bit
for
too,
you, like maybe a
yeah.
strong 7 or something. But for me
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
personally, as someone who's not just here for that, I'm like, maybe a strong 5, maybe a 6, like maybe it picks up, but
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
I think a lot of it's getting carried by like the enjoyment of obviously the cornier aspects and being paired up with very like solid audio visuals.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
idea of maybe this will get a little bit more dramatic. Ooh, I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Fair f
can't carry
a
everything.
little bit unfortunate. Yeah. Alright, well, what would you rate it? What's your MAL number here?
Yeah. So my Mel number is probably like a strong 5, maybe or rather, yeah, like a strong 5 to a light 6, maybe like a light 6.
Okay,
And then I
okay,
think if you're like really, really on it for just like a BL series like that, maybe like a 7 or an 8, right? If like
okay.
that's really what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
But like
Mhm,
without that, may as well just watch like
mhm.
Tasogare Out. Something like that.
Okay. Pretty good.
So
All right.
how good is the gay romance? Would a non
Would like a would
homosexual
just
enjoy it?
would a cis person? I mean, again, it like depends on whether or not like that's what you want to see, right? Like there are
Mhm.
definitely like plenty of straight people that still want to watch series like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, again, like you have to really be along, I think,
So
for the BL
it's not
cheese.
over so it's not overly super homosexual, right?
No, it is.
Oh hell yeah, that's
No,
not
it is,
even
That's what
but
I'm
better.
saying.
but it's
It's very,
yeah,
very gay. Like
it's
you
but they just kind of get down and dirty real quick, and it's not like
So
oh, but am I really? It's not like that sort of
I mean
wishy-washy.
it's
they
not
do
like
obviously still have like that, like, oh my god, my heart's beating
why
so
what was that
fast. But like
what was that
but
one
like that
series that
stuff
you
is more
watched?
with, like I said,
Is it better or
the
worse than the what is it, the giantess's what is it, the giantess's
The
wife?
smut the comic fest of
Giants
smut
away.
stuff.
Yeah, no, I think this
Yeah,
is
like
probably better than the Comic Fest of Smut
Yeah,
series.
it's
I'm
probably
being
better than
very
Comic Fest. The
that
Comic Fest
series
is like bottom of the
that
barrel
series
there.
was that series was in there right at the beginning. I was like, oh damn.
yeah,
Yeah, Comic Fest the
this is
smut
not
series
quite
is
in the same
very bottom
way.
of the barrel.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this is not a smut series.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyways, thank you very much, Dark. This was Tasogare Out Focus, also known as Twilight Out of Focus. This was a manga original, BL series, obviously. This is the second BL series done recent times, in recent memory, by Studio Dean, or adapted by Studio Dean. The other one being Sasuke Mieno. Um, Obviously, visual, audio visualized, they've kept up the level of quality in similar ways, but in terms of how you might approach the story, some people might like it, some people might find it a little bit, maybe a little bit too on the nose. Your mileage might vary, but it probably won't hurt to check it out. So if you have the time, please do check out Twilight Out of Focus.